west, south and center, Belizeans came to this small pier in Barranco, the starting point of an expedition to the Sarstoon, which the government has suddenly declared a prohibited zone. Dire warnings from the Ministries of National Security and Foreign Affairs, the Belize Defense Force and National Security Council could not deter this group. On the pier, Coast Guard personnel and police officers took count of those headed out and verified the safety of the vessels and passengers. Five vessels carrying Belizeans, flags waving, traveled to this point south of Barranco but north of the mouth of the Sarstoon. This sandbar in about 2 to 3 feet of dirty brown water is where the expedition members took a stand to hoist the red, white and blue in a show of patriotism.
From proud Rio Hondo to old Sarstoon, to coral eyes over blue light.
Ironically, the anthem mentions the Sarstoon prominently. The same Sarstoon that the government has now told us is a disputed area. The same Sarstoon that is now off limits to Belizeans.
I think we need to start to show these people that we're determined. We're determined to show the government and everybody who thinks otherwise that the Sarstoon Islands belongs to Belize. If Guatemala has a claim, that doesn't stop us from coming to the island. It is ours. So why should we be afraid to come out to a part of our country that belongs to us?
That is the most shameful thing I've ever heard. That, first of all, the anthem says Sarstoon, if you mean the Sarstoon Island and the Sarstoon River. But ever since, we have always treated the island as being a part of our territory. And as I was saying, even if there's a dispute over it, in the meantime, we should be free to come and go, because if you use that fool argument that there's a dispute and the Guatemalans claim Sarstoon Island, don't they claim Toledo and Stand Creek all the way up to the Sarstoon River? So I mean, we shouldn't come down and look for people at PG then. You see the idiocy of that argument? You mean Guatemala would tell us, listen, better stop coming at PG because that is also being claimed by us? That shows the stupidity of the government's argument.
It's an argument and a warning that has scared off some people. Originally, over 200 persons had signed on for this trip. Many bowed out after the BDF and government advised them that if they came to the area, they would be on their own. PG resident Lorraine Arzu was a little afraid to come along.
I was before, but after all I catch courage, you know, and I feel so good this morning when I saw the Coast Guard in Barranco this morning, you know, so I feel much safer, I feel much better coming here this morning.
I think this Coast Guard is here because if anything did happen to Belizeans and the Coast Guard was not around, they would take a lot of liability issues, so that's why I think they're here. And I think the Coast Guard, in fact, is glad to be here. This is their job, this is what they do. They are here to make sure of the safety of Belizeans, not from a military standpoint, but simply from a safety standpoint, and it's good to have them.
For the Territorial volunteers, this is one of their most critical expeditions because suddenly it appears that our territorial integrity is in question, with Guatemala seeming to be gaining ground.
I don't think they're serious about this issue. You know? I think they're supposed to pay more attention, keen attention, to see the way Guatemala is acting. Guatemala is very aggressive, and all the time with the Belizean people, the Belizean government, they're just sitting down and they're not doing anything.
It's time that as Belizeans we stand together and do something about it. So I've missed out on the past 7 trips, and I would have been damned if I had missed out on this one, no? Which is very crucial and needs to be done. No? We're Belizean. This is clearly Belizean territory.
If you look over there, you see all the huts. If we as Belizeans don't occupy our land and visit our areas, if you come back here in a couple of years and we haven't been visiting along our mainland, you will start seeing huts as well. And so, as Belizeans, we just need to visit and occupy our land.
An occupation which seems much less likely now that the government of Belize has taken to actively warning Belizeans out of the Sarstoon area.
Well, my friend, half of Belize is under dispute, and occasionally the whole of Belize is under dispute. So what are the authorities trying to say? Should we avoid going to the half of Belize that is under dispute? No, I don't think so. I think we need to press the reset button on the foreign policy of Belize, and it's failing us. Look at us here having to stand in water and trembling and looking over there and wondering what would happen. Let me remind Al, prior to 1981, 25 miles up this river, up this Sarstoon River, there was an active police station, immigration and custom building. It's still there in total ruin. It has been abandoned. Our position has eroded since 1981 to now that we are questioning if we can even come to the bar mouth of the river.
This is just one small step. We're still lighting the fire. Sarstoon is just one small step and we cannot stop. The thing is that we're shooting for no less than a no to the ICJ and for Belize to reset its foreign policy regarding its negotiations with Guatemala.
Yes! Yes!
While negotiations are underway, there's no reason for us to cede access to any territory, any territorial waters, any insular areas. There's no reason that we need to cede anything. Negotiations could continue. Guatemala could claim. That doesn't mean you get. You could claim.
From the events which were to unfold, it appears that Guatemala is not only claiming, but is actually taking. Mike Rodon for News 5.